We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Adam Dunn, Alexi Ramirez in the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Paul Goldschmidt and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. We get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. We took the opener 9-3. Very exciting ball game. Grand slam home run by Alexi Ramirez. Then last night we were trailing by a couple in the ninth. We got one. Couldn't quite get out the other one, but this club just won't quit.
Last night, going into the ninth inning, especially with their closer on the mound, you figure, well, you got some problems. But in the ninth inning, Connor Gillespie comes up, drives the ball into center field, so he winds up at second base because of the wild pitch. Now, there's still 2 runs down at this point, but Alexi Ramirez drives the ball right back through the middle, continuing his hot start. And then a stolen base, putting the tying run at second. Paul Konerko, who had homered earlier in the ball game, head-to-head against Addison Reed. And unfortunately, Addison Reed wins the battle. Game over. But the team refused to quit, and that's a great characteristic.
And today's starters, no Essie for us.
We got a couple of guys going to the mound that don't have a lot of Major League experience, especially the guy going to the mound for the Diamondbacks, and that's Chase Anderson. Yet in Double-A at Mobile, he was absolutely unhittable. .69 ERA. Look at that base on balls to strikeout ratio, 6 1/4 to 1. Hector threw the ball very well last time out. The wind was blowing in at Wrigley Field, and he's done a nice job on an emergency basis. He was a bullpensman. Now they're using him as a starter, stretching him out somewhat, and we're hoping for good things today.
And all of us here at Comcast Sportsnet would like to wish each and every one of you a very happy Mother's Day. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Happy Mother's Day, go White Sox.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. Let's take a look at how Kirk Gibson is going to line up his Diamondbacks today. It's Parra, Prado, and Goldschmidt at the top, with Montero, Hill, and Chavez in the middle, and Ross, Pollock, and Pennington rounding it out. The key defensive setup and how they'll line up behind Hector Noese, Vicieda, Diaza, and Sierra in the outfield, with Gillespie, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn in the infield. Tyler Flowers with the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Hector Noese. We're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and a very happy Mother's Day to each and all out there as we get set for the ball game and the first pitch. Is swung on and fouled back. A beautiful day always is Mother's Day. Parra comes in hitting at .221. He's 2 for 8 in this series. And the count very quickly, 0-2. As I mentioned at the top, rubber match of this 3-game set. We won opener 9-3. It's a fun game. Bases loaded, grand slam, 3-0 count to Alexei Ramirez. And yesterday, Quintana pitched well. Meanwhile, coming up empty as far as the runs go. We lost that game 4-3. And that is slicing, and that's not going to be playable. Right on top.
The umpires for the game this afternoon. Quinn Wolcott behind the plate. Jerry Davis, crew chief, is at first. Chris Conroy is at second, and Phil Cuzzy did a nice job behind the plate last night, is at third base.
Here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap, send 400 straightaway center. That's up high. One and two the count. Martin Prado on deck. That's into center field. Watch out. He broke back, now stumbles and can't make the play. So
Diaz appears to be hurt after playing that one into a triple.
We have had, needless to say, if you've been following us all along, a lot of problems with fly balls and pop-ups.
This is a big problem because it's not hit all that well. The wind is blowing in, and Diaz breaks straight back before realizing that, wow, I overran it. By the time he righted the ship, it was well too late.
Well, there was a play right there that off the bat sounded like it was going to land exactly where it did. There was no crack. But the great Willie Mays used to say, Willie, how do you play center field so great? He said, I use my ears. There's a strike to Prado.
Now, from a pitching standpoint, if you're Hector Noese, you completely forget about the guy at third. The infield is back in the middle. They're going to concede the run. If you give up that run, you give it up. Make sure you limit him to just one and concentrate on the hitter. You can't think about anything else.
Yeah, I don't even know why he didn't go from his windup.
If he feels more comfortable from the windup, there's no big problem. The only way that Parra is not going to score is on a ground ball right back to Noese or a hard shot either to first or third.
0-2 the count. Martin Prado, 30-year-old veteran.
Prado did have a sacrifice fly last night. That coming in their 3-run fifth.
Two and two. And there's a base hit, so just 1-0. Gift run.
RBI number 12 for Prado. And an early lead for the Backs.
So here's Goldschmidt. Well, you know, it's I don't know if everybody saw that fly ball, that pop up that fell in between the second baseman and Alex Rios down in Texas. Nobody got a glove on it. Nobody touched it, and they gave Rios the error. And there were some people screaming about that call. Because for 100 years, if nobody touched it, then it was a hit.
And also at the time, there was a no-hitter still in place.
Perfect game, I believe. So they gave him an error, and there were a lot of people screaming about it. But we understand now that before the season started, scorekeepers were informed that on plays like that, you could give an error if the ball should have been caught. And I've been, as all Sox fans know, for 30 years been talking about team error. You got Joe there, you got Joe Torre, you got Tony La Russa, you got John Schuerholz. They will get this thing straightened, because even for them to start to tell the scorekeepers you can give them an error, that's something change. That's an adjustment.
Well, I don't think the error should be given to an individual guy. I think there should be a team error, because there are errors where 3 or 4 guys are involved and could have made the play but didn't.
Well, my friend told me, I didn't see the play. My friend told me, though, that Rios should have called off the second baseman, made the play, but the second baseman evidently was closer to the ball, but they still gave it to Rios. So I don't know. But the thing is that you got to find some way. That should have been an error right there, that leadoff triple.
Yeah.
Should have been a team error if, in fact, they didn't want to give it to Diaz because he misjudged it. Pitchers have paid a price for a long time when they shouldn't have in a lot of plays. So as we speak, that's an earned run. And in no way, shape, fashion, form should that be an earned run.
Now it should be man at first, 1 out. Of course, it's not that way. There's still that man at first, but nobody out. And their best hitter up, Paul Goldschmidt, who has grounded into 4 double plays.
He gone. Well, I'm just glad of the fact that they are making some adjustments, and they will. They will get this thing straightened out, because too many inequities in the scoring over the years. So here's Montero. Miguel Montero, 1 for 8 in the series with an RBI.
Montero came up and was a pretty good hitter, and he's been a pretty decent hitter this year. Last year, a very disappointing year for him, where he hit .230. 11 home runs, 42 driven in, but he struck out 110 times. Not a particularly good number when you don't have 600 at bats. You only have 413. Thought was 0 for 1 in stolen bases.
And that's not squibbed. It's foul.
Kurt Gibson going through his set of signs. And after turning over the club for one night to Mark Parent, and apparently not liking the outcome of the game, Robin has taken control. He's back. Actually, he was watching his daughter graduate from college. And Mark Parent did a good enough job, just didn't get the runs.
No. Manager in that respect does like pitchers. If they don't get the runs, they lose.
You can't outmanage anybody without any base runners.
Two and two the count.
As you can see, left-handers have mystified Miguel Montero, whereas right-handers has done a pretty good job.
Two balls, two strikes, one out. Here at the top of the first, 1-0 bad guys if you're just tuning in. And there's a base hit in the center. So that just opened the gates. That misjudged fly ball.
And notice he got that ball up. It was out of the strike zone, but Montero went up to get it. Take a look at where this one appears in our Menards pitch tracks. It's high and away. Montero, one of the few left-hand hitters that apparently doesn't mind high fastballs.
So here's Aaron Hill. Aaron at 263 homers, 21 knocked in. And the Bertucci boys are in the house. Always nice to see Bobby. I don't know when Handsome Anthony. All right, take your time and rack them up. So a good job by Noesi. Should have been out of this with nothing, but they score one, and it's 1-0 bad guys.
Bar Sox for the game today. It's Diaz, Beckham, and Gillespie at the top with Abreu, Dunn, and Viciedo in the middle. Rounding out with Ramirez, Sierra, and Flowers behind the plate and hitting ninth. The key defensive setup and how they will line up behind Chase Anderson. Ross, Pollock, and Parra in the outfield with Prado, Pennington, Hill, and Goldschmidt in the infield. Miguel Montero behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Chase Anderson. That's what he looked like in Double-A this year at Mobile. He was 4-2. The ERA a spotless .69. Only 6 walks and 38 strikeouts in 39 innings. He allowed just 1 homer. And as you can see, didn't matter lefty righties, he got them all out. So this should be an interesting start for him and his entire family on this Mother's Day as he makes his major league debut.
Out of McKinney, Texas. And talking to the Arizona people prior to the game, they say change-up, more change-ups. So here's Diaza hitting at 198, 4 homers and 14 knocked in. Rolando 3 for 8 in the series. There's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
He was used as both a starter and reliever during the course of his career. And when they bounced him back and forth between the starting rotation and the bullpen, he didn't do particularly well. This year, used entirely as a starter and seems to be thriving. That's what he did in the minor leagues total. Just a little over 500. The ERA very respectable. And almost a strikeout per inning.
1-2 pitch. 1 out. So here's Beckham, guarding at 234, a couple of homers. He's driven in 6. Sox coming hitting at 267 as a club with a 4.63 ERA. Takes first pitch strike. That one at 93. Sox are second in the league in hitting behind the Tigers.
Well ahead of them in runs scored, which is the all-important department.
We have scored 196 runs. Tigers have scored 158. Has popped up into right center field. 2 down. And right now, let's check out our picks to click. Jim and Joe, our veteran crew, went with Dunn. He's going with Gillespie. And all the mothers out there on this beautiful Mother's Day, we're going to go with Alexei Ramirez. So here's Connor. Connor takes a strike. Hitting at 319, no homers. He's driven in 13.
Last 3 games, he's been red hot. He went on to disable us. His batting average was .302, so he's put 17 points on that average.
Changeup outside. I mentioned we're second in the league in hitting behind the Tigers. And we are first in the league in allowing runs scored. Which, the way we have played some defense this year, a lot of those runs, it's understandable. Now, Goldschmidt takes charge like he should, makes a catch, 1-2-3 inning, and after 1-0 D-backs.
Kids and the mother of Joe McEwing threw out the ceremonial first pitches. A very nice sight on this Mother's Day. Vanessa Parzatka, longtime White Sox fan and breast cancer survivor, is one of 30 2014 honorary Batgirl contest winners who have been affected by breast cancer and who have gone above and beyond to demonstrate a commitment to fighting the disease. She is taking part in today's pregame activities. And delivered the White Sox lineup card at home plate.
Eric Chavez, the 36-year-old veteran, leading off here in the top of the second inning. Takes that strike, even to count at 1.
Chavez started the first game of the series. He came into this series with a .308 batting average. Now finds himself at .279.
2-2 pitch.
Career numbers against the Sox, okay, but not that great for a guy that was a very good player with Oakland for a lot of years.
And the shift's going to get him. So 1 out. And here's Sox nemesis, Cody Ross.
Well, like Chavez, Ross came in hitting .135. But, as so often happens with him, 5 hits later, he's up to 200.
Well, he's over 400 against us in his career. He's hitting at .420 against us. 5 homers and a lot of RBIs. And that is just foul. Close. And after the game, they will board their charter and head on back home. They'll have Washington and Los Angeles coming to town. And of course, we'll board our charter and we'll start off on a 9-game, 10-day road trip. Start off with 3 in Oakland. Then go to Houston and Kansas City.
Oakland has the best pitching in the American League by a wide margin. Those guys don't always hit the baseball, although they're getting a whole lot better in that department, but they can usually throw it, and this year is no exception.
Well, they're under 3 team ERA, 2.96.
Pretty amazing in the American League.
That's into left field. The tank is there. 2 down. Pollock takes first pitch strike. He's 3 for 7 with 2 RBIs in the series.
Pretty good outfielder. He's got very good speed, the alley to alley. And his emergence actually allowed them to trade Adam Eaton.
Well, without Eaton and without Avisail Garcia, our outfield play has been bad.
We take 2 real good defenders, 2 real fast defenders out of your outfield.
It's been bad. This hadn't been not good. It's been bad. That's foul back. The 1-2 pitch.
That pitch looked to be right there, but when Walcott thought it was up and away. This is borderline. Could have gone either way. It went Pollock's way.
Yep. Looked like he had the outside edge of the corner. So 2-2. He gone. 1-2-3 inning. After an inning and a half, 1-0 Arizona.
The game brought to you by Miller Lite.
And a reminder, you can show off the colors of your alma mater at College Night on Thursday, May 22nd. With specially priced tickets for all college and university students, alumni, faculty, friends, and families. Tickets start at $14 for lower level seats. So, WhiteSox.com/UNIV.
Chase Anderson has had all kinds of physical problems. That's really been the one thing holding him back. He's been on the disabled list 5 different times. And trying to wend your way up through a system, if you keep getting hurt, it's going to be very difficult to do that. But this year, he came out like a brand new guy and was tearing up AA.
It'll be Abreu, Dunn, and Viciado. And out of play, right side. Oh, and 1 to count. Abreu hitting at .272, 13 homers, 37 knocked in.
We come back after this road trip. We're going to play the Yankees for 4 games. They just caught another bad break. CC Sabathia going to the disabled list with a right knee injury. So it's doubtful if we would see him in that series.
There's a base hit. And now he's going his way. Good throw's going to get him.
Well, unfortunately, with that sore ankle, Jose might have been better served to stay at first, but Ross guns him down. Does a nice job of going to get it and then throwing it right on the money.
Adam Dunn. Adam at .255, 5 homers. He's knocked in 12. 0 for 5 in this series. Give it to them, give it to us. Outside edges. Change up. And just faded away like a screwball.
He hasn't thrown a whole lot of them, and if that's his best pitch and he thinks it's his best pitch, he'll mix a few more in as he moves along.
There's another one. 2 down.
Anderson gets his first major league strikeout on his favorite and most comfortable pitch, the straight change.
It'll bring up Tank. Tank hitting at .304, a couple of homers. He's driven in 13. Outfield straight up, spread out for Viciado. Curveball strike.
That was a good curveball, and you're not going to find a whole lot of people even attempting a swing if it's spinning like that.
One and 2 the count. Too many. So a couple of strikeouts, and he leads it 1-0.
Photo for a chance to have it shown on our broadcast later in the game. It's brought to you by AT&T.
So here's the switch hitting shortstop Cliff Pennington, formerly of the Oakland Athletics. Takes ball one. '29-year-old veteran. Last year hit .242 with the D-backs. Why nothing Arizona here in the top of the third inning. If you're just tuning in, there's a strike.
We saw Pennington as the #1 shortstop of the Oakland A's. He's a pretty good defender.
And that's into the corner. So he'll start it off with a double. That's his second two-bagger of the season.
Pennington, the switch hitter, is actually much better from the right side, but he got this fastball low and in, which is where most left-handers like it. And an ominous start here as they're going to go through their lineup for the second time.
There's Gerardo Parra. He got a gift triple, hit a fly ball in the center field. Guys completely misjudged it. Broke way back, tried to catch up, couldn't do it, fell down. He tripled. They gave him a triple, and he scored.
Decent idea by Parra. He was thinking about laying it down. At the very worst, he'd have had a sacrifice and moved Pennington into third.
Two and one to count. that's into left center field deep. Right in front of State Farm, makes the catch, so the tag, and he will advance into third. 1 out.
That ball was hit pretty hard the opposite way. Aaron's got some pop. And took it almost back to the wall that time.
So here's Martin Prado. Had an RBI single. Infield in. Outfield straight up. About equidistant. Popped up right side. Long way to go. Can't get there. Well, our boy was at it again yesterday.
If you're talking about the vastly undersupported Jeff Samardzija, yes, he was absolutely brilliant through 6. That man couldn't find a run if the offense started with a guy at third base.
He could find him water if he fell out of the boat.
Another 6 innings, shutout baseball.
2 hits, 7 strikeouts,
and a no D.
I mean, it's been interesting just to follow him this year.
I talked to him, and he hasn't won since last August. And in the way that only Samardzija can phrase it.
Two down.
Jeff said, you know, I'm a pretty competitive dude, and this not winning is getting to me. So all he can do, and I told him, you know, look, all you can do, the only thing you have control over is until the ball leaves your hand. After that, you can't control anything. Someone's got to field it, and they have to score you some runs, and they have been unable to do either, although his ERA keeps getting better and better with each start.
Really amazing. I mean, it really is. It's somebody always wears it on a club. Well, he's even transcended that. He's wearing it in Major League Baseball. Last year, there was the guy that wore it in the Major League. 17 no decisions. That's a Major League record. 17 no decisions. It was American League record. 17 no decisions. Wow. The 0-2.
The National League leaders in earned run average, only Johnny Cueto, who's having a magnificent year, is ahead of Samardzija, and only by an eyelash. So it's nice to be in that list, but you'd like to be in the win list at least every now and then.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Goldschmidt. Outfield slightly to the right. He gone. Second strikeout for Goldschmidt. Pitches over the leadoff double, but we still trail it 1-0. League Baseball wishes mothers everywhere a very happy Mother's Day. So join Major League Baseball in going to bat against breast cancer. And you do it by visiting MLBcommunity.org. Of course, Commissioner Bud Selig and Major League Baseball began the Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer program back in 2006. And to further expand the Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer program, MLB began the Honorary Batgirl program in 2009. Each club home on Mother's Day will host a special Mother's Day program, including recognition of their 2014 Honorary Batgirl winner. Games on Mother's Day will use a pink-stitched Rawlings baseball, the official ball of MLB, as the official game day baseball.
And a lot of hitters are using a pink bat. Some are going back to what they use all the time. And if you're hitting .340 and you're leading the American League, you don't want to change bats all that often.
Well, there are some guys that feel that way, and there are other guys that just put a twig in their hand and they'll go get you. This always amazed me how the difference. You get some guys who cannot play in cold weather, and you get other guys, doesn't bother them one bit. Alexi, look at Alexi. Alexi is a notorious slow starter.
245 lifetime in April, but this year a complete role reversal.
Yeah. I mean, just anybody tells you they know this game, they're kidding themselves. I've been in it 55 years. And one thing I do know is the longer I'm in it, the less I know about it. And that's what makes it so beautiful. Things are continually changing in this game.
And the one thing that has held true from the beginning, and it's almost a chicken and egg controversy, you have to have confidence to be successful. There's guys who just exude that confidence. But to have that confidence, you have to be successful. And no one knows when you get one or the other.
So he gets Alexei. 3 straight strikeouts for Anderson.
Albert Pujols, one of the best hitters in the game, and has been for a long time. I saw him in the first series he ever played in the major leagues, and it looked to me like he was a 10-year veteran. He had that kind of confidence, that kind of wide stance. He was never in front of anything. He knew he could hit, and he's been hitting since he put on a uniform.
Sierra, a little soft off to the end of the bat comebacker. 2 out. Yeah, after a couple of years, we played the Cardinals. And I talked with Tony Russo, the skipper of St. Louis at that time, about it. He said he'd never seen anything like it. He said, I'd never seen a youngster come into major leagues with as much confidence as Albert Pujols.
When I saw him in that first series, it was against the Diamondbacks. It was in Phoenix, and they had Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling as their 1 and 2 starters. A guy named Albert Descend started the 3rd game. And Albert hit everything exactly where it was pitched. Was never out in front of anything. Whether it was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball or a changeup, he just was right on everything. It was an unbelievable performance.
Here's Tyler hitting at .330. A couple of homers he's driven in .313. Well, I had only seen him up until our series we played him on TV. And obviously, when you see guys on TV, you're going to see them on the highlights, and they're doing something well. Unless it's a defensive miscue. But the thing that impressed me about him was exactly what you just said. If the ball was away, he hit it hard that way. If the ball was down the middle, he hit it hard right up the middle. If the ball was middle in, he killed it to left center. It was amazing.
It was. And he is reinvigorated this year. He had a tough year last year. A lot of it had to do with assorted injuries, which he's picked up a little later in his career. But this year he's come back, and he is the Albert of old. Scouts that I talked to in spring training said, looks like the same Albert Pujols who played so long with the Cardinals. He was ready to go.
I think there's a residual effect that I've seen over my years in this game. Guys, when they sign a huge contract, not everybody, but the majority of them have a lag time in there. Whether it's for whatever reason, whether it's getting used to the notoriety, the expectations that you put on yourself maybe go higher, whatever it is, there's always a lag time in there as he gets Tyler. So that's 4 strikeouts now for Chase Anderson.
White Sox and A's out in Oakland. Tune in to see how the boys from the South Side measure up against the AL Western Division leaders. It's White Sox A's Tuesday at 8:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
And we want to send out a huge, heartfelt congratulations to longtime Chicago Sun-Times writer Tony Giannetti. On her retirement, Tony was a terrific writer and is a terrific writer, and even better than that, just a terrific person. Tony, don't you be a stranger, sweetheart. Wonderful, wonderful woman. Here's Montero. He singled his first trip. 1-4-0 for them, 0-1-0 for us. Got that one by him upstairs at 91.
Already Hector's thrown out of a couple of big jams. This one could have been a 4-5 run deficit instead of 1.
Well, that first inning could have been 2 or 3 runs. As it was, it was a gift run. If you missed it, if you're just tuning in, leadoff hitter Power hit just a little soft fly ball in center field that was completely misjudged by Diaz. It broke way back, then tried to catch up as he was coming in. He fell. And Power goes into third with a triple. So there should be no runs on that board out there, but there is one.
I'd like to send out Mother's Day greetings to Joy Sears Lonergan, a huge Sox fan, looking on.
Out of play. 2-2. Full count, no walks. On the other side of that page, our condolences and heartfelt, sincere wishes go out to the family of lifelong Sox fan Helen Juris, who died this week at the age of 92. Sweet, loving woman whose family, the Juris, have a long, rich Chicago history. There's a chopper foul. Full count to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the fourth. So the leadoff man with a dreaded leadoff walk. And you can go behind the scenes here at US Cellular Field and find out how to make your home lawn or athletic field look like the pros. So join the Sodfather, our Sodfather, Roger Bosser, and other Major League groundskeepers and turf experts at this first-of-a-kind turf clinic on Wednesday, May 14th. So to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/turf.
He'll ground it into a very quick 6-4-3 double play last time up to get Hector out of that first inning. He could use another ground ball here. Montero has yet to attempt a stolen base, and for the most part, although it's not 100%, the guys who do a whole lot of catching are not going to steal a lot of bases.
Not unless your name was John Wathan.
There have been a few guys that could take off and go, but
yeah,
few and far between.
You better believe it. Fouls that back.
Montero in his career is 2 for 6.
I believe Wathan, when he was catching for Kansas City, 1 year stole over 30.
Of course, 2 for 6 sounds a lot better than it is because it's spread over 8 years. And Wathan could run.
He's the only guy I've ever heard of in the Major League ordered his bats pre-cracked.
Let's say Doc Edwards did that.
Okay, we're going to get another one right here. So rack them up. 2 down.
2 rocket ground balls. Fortunately, both hit right at Alexi. And this 6-4-3 is easier than the first one.
Yeah, John Wathan stole 36 bases in 1982, and then in '83 followed it up with 28. That was the everything contagious type syndrome, which everything in baseball is contagious, whether it be positive or negative. And that's when Kansas City would absolutely run you right out of the ballpark back in those years. Yeah, that's a bad feeling. That pressure that they kept on other teams, and that's the biggest killer of performance is pressure. That's why Ricky Henderson's the greatest offensive player that I've ever seen in my career. Even playing against Mantle and Maris and Mays and McCovey and Musial and Kalines and Killebrews, the greatest offensive player I ever saw was Ricky Henderson, because he put the pressure on, especially against young pitching. Chavez. There's a base hit. The shift got him first time up on a line shot to Beckham. So the 2-out single.
There's Dave McKay over his shoulder reading the signs. Glenn Sherlock, the third base coach, is giving him the signs.
Dave McKay, future Hall of Fame coach, when they open up that coach's wing. He and Art Kushner first in line. Then they're going to go way back to Tony Cuccinello.
But before that, they'll probably go with George Kissel.
Well, he was Yeah, as compared to Frankie Cossetti, the Yankees, and those guys, probably really way underneath the radar compared to those guys.
Well, George Kissel was the minor league expert extravaganza in teaching how to play winning baseball. He was an infield coach who was just terrific, and for years he taught a whole lot of great major leaguers. In the formative process of learning how to play Major League Baseball, he taught them how to do it and how to win. And that was one of the reasons the Cardinals were as successful as they were.
Oh, among baseball people, he was absolutely idolized. He was an icon. But the other guys that I've talked about, playing in bigger markets,
they had a lot of rings. Those other guys had a lot of rings.
A lot of rings and a lot of publicity.
Yes, sir.
One and two. Ross went out to left field. Yeah, but Dave McKay's got a few rings himself.
He does that.
He gone. We're at the bottom of the fourth. We need one to tie.
Follow all the action with White Sox In-Game Live on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
Lovely afternoon here in the City Beautiful. 81 degrees
81.
as we speak.
And storms coming in, but we believe they're later tonight. Not going to interfere with the ball game. In the meantime, this is the second time through the order. The first time, there were a few guys, I'm sure, surprised by Anderson and that straight change. Now, hopefully, they'll start looking for something up in the zone, because it was a pretty easy first 3 innings.
Now, I was talking to some Arizona people, and they told me he's got a change-up. I didn't say anything to them. I just said to myself, uh-oh. I'd rather have him say he's got a great fastball. Got a great fastball.
Well, he's got 93.
That doesn't bother me.
Oh.
But our club, every club, not just our club, every club has trouble with the changeup.
Not a bad idea, but unfortunately, Alejandro, on bunts like that, he has a tendency to run before he bunts. And talking with, and you mentioned the other day, one of the great bunters maybe in the last 20 years is Brett Butler. He always says, you stay around long enough to get the bunt down. If you make a very good bunt, you're going to beat it out.
It was a good one. Rod Carew was a good one. former second baseman for the Minnesota Twins. American League batting champion over and over and over again, and didn't play high school baseball.
He also had no problems at all bunting with 2 strikes.
No.
He would do that against left-handers repeatedly.
He was one of the best at that. 1 out. That's 5 strikeouts now for Anderson.
One hit and no walks. And 3 1/3.
And this is his, if you're just tuning in, his major league debut. Oh, he hung one there and got away with it. Gordon, too quick.
That curveball just came tumbling over the inner portion.
That change up. Upstairs, literally and figuratively, to Gordon and in the stadium. This guy was just absolute killing them down there in Double-A.
Last year he played in Triple-A and split his time between the rotation and the 10. And that really didn't work out very well for him. He was in 26 games, 13 starts, 13 relief appearances, but he gave up a whopping 107 hits in 88 innings. They decided with his stuff he'd be much better served in the starting rotation, so they dropped him down to Double-A this year, and he was throwing lights out.
ERA of under 1. That's into right field. Well, here's the irony of that statement that you just made. You can take a young guy that you've signed, a high draft choice, who's throwing 95, 96, 97 at Double-A. But that's the only thing he's got. Yet you can take a guy who throws 90, 89, 88 down there with a good changeup. And that guy's got a better chance to pitch in the big leagues than the guy throwing 95.
That's true. We've seen it over and over again, that exact same scenario.
Boy, this didn't take long. That is 8 in a row retired by that rookie.
Show where we ask the questions and you win the cash. Don't miss Beer Money, presented by Coors Light, the sports trivia show that has Chicago talking. It's tonight at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Pollock, Pennington, and Parra. Here in the top of the 5th inning. Tops that one. Foul. It's a 1-0 ball game. That run coming in the 1st inning. And if you're just tuning in, that run should never have crossed the plate. Pollock go for 1, a strikeout. Back in the 2nd. On the other side of this page. Chase Anderson in his major league debut through 4 innings has faced the minimum. He's only given up 1 hit. And that was Abreu. And he was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. No walks and 5 strikeouts.
All things considered, the young man seems to have no butterflies whatsoever because he's getting everything over the plate.
And there's a shot right back through the middle. And if you're just joining us, did not see how that run crossed the plate. Here it was to the leadoff hitter, Gerardo Parra. They gave him a triple. Then he scored. So here's Pennington.
I thought he was going to get there for a moment.
You did?
Well, not after the trip and the tumble, but before then, I thought he could readjust.
Pennington doubled down into the right field corner. Takes the bunt, takes the ball.
Pollock can run. He's been successful 3 or 4 times. This Diamondback team has swiped 20 of them. They've been caught 9 times.
Pollock's had 1 in each game. Here, pretty good lead. Pops him up. Beckham. One out. Sox fans, join us on May 24th at 1:10 as our Sox take on the Yankees. Also, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Chris Sale bobblehead. First 20,000 fans, a Chris Sale bobblehead presented by Pepsi. So for tickets, 866 Sox game or visit whitesox.com.
This is when you'd have to believe that Tyler Flowers is going to have to get that shoulder loose. He's looking over at Mark Parent to see if he wants either a pitch out or a slide step. And that's, I believe, a throw to first.
Pollock with a good lead.
Looked like he was thinking about going on that first pitch.
Now feels slightly to the left. Bunts just a bit. And checking some other scores. Tigers leading Minnesota 3-1, top of the 8th inning at Comerica Park. Cleveland leading Tampa Bay 3-2, bottom of the 5th down in St. Pete.
There's 6 games, either 3-1 or 3-2 on this Sunday.
Way out in front. The Angels leading Toronto 7-1, bottom of the 7th in Canada. Atlanta leading the Cubs 3-2, bottom of the 6th down in Georgia. Chris Davis back in the lineup for the Orioles as Houston leads him 3-2, bottom of the 5th in Baltimore. Matt Wieters on the DL.
The Orioles really miss Chris Davis.
There he goes. As that is high, deep. And it is 3-0.
Probably the best hit and run you can have is run and then hit it out of the ballpark, and that's the 4th for Parra, who gave it a ride back in the 3rd inning, but he hit it opposite field. This time he pulled it, driving in runs number 12 and 13 with his 4th home run. And our 4th home run replay is a fastball on the inner portion. It's up and it's gone. Parra, one of the few left-hand hitters you'll see that really enjoys high fastballs.
So here's Martin Prado, RBI single and a grounder to 3rd. Takes first pitch strike. Oh, 2 the count. And that's a base hit.
Eight hits so far by the Diamondbacks. That was a changeup, but it was right over the middle of the plate. Looks he can't get to it, and Don Cooper now will make the long, slow trip to the mound with the bullpen starting to stir for the first time today.
Paul Goldschmidt will be the hitter.
There you look at Hector's numbers to this point, giving up a lot of hits. But he's only walked 1, and that's the reason why there's not more runs up there than the 3 that are there.
Goldschmidt 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He's all over that one, but fortunately underneath it.
National League hit leaders, Paul Goldschmidt, who hasn't had a good series, is right at the top with Charlie Blackmon, Nolan Arenado, and Troy Tulowitzki, all for the Rockies at 50 and 49 respectively. And D. Gordon, real surprise for the Dodgers, he's got 47.
Just underneath that one. So the count 1-2. Goldschmidt just 26 years old. Mentioned after the game, we'll board our charter, head on out to Oakland Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday against the A's. Off day on the 15th, Thursday, which we will spend in Houston. And we'll play the Astros Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And after the Sunday game, leave and go to Kansas City for 3 night games.
That's what it looks like. Tough team in Oakland. Houston struggling. Kansas City always seemingly should be better. They're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark these days. And then it's back home for 4 against the Yankees.
4 against the Yankees and 3 against Cleveland and 3 against San Diego. So there he goes. Gets him, and that's out number 2. So that'll bring up Montero. A single and a walk. Yeah, we'll be back on the 22nd. 4 against the Yankees, 3 against Cleveland, then an off day. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Padres. So they're going to put him on. Be the second walk. Issued by Hector.
Aaron Hill has grounded into a couple of double plays, but he's hit both balls hard. So Hector has not fooled him yet. Fortunately, he's hit it right at Alexi.
Bring up Aaron Hill, who was 0 for 2. Twice he has hit the ball hard. And last time very hard. Right to Alexi for a 6-4-3 double play.
Hill, a ringing endorsement for if you're not ready yet and the money isn't right, go to college. He was drafted in the 7th round out of high school by the Angels. Apparently, the money was not to his liking. He chose a scholarship to LSU. Started at Louisiana State, then was the Blue Jays' first-round pick in 2003. And he was a good player for the Blue Jays for a long time.
And he's still just 30 years old.
They got themselves a pretty good one in Hill.
LSU, one of the better baseball programs in the country.
They started to get real good when they got University of Miami's pitching coach. Ron Fraser was their manager. Skip Bertman was their pitching coach, and he went to LSU to be their head coach. And they just got better and better and better, and now the program is pretty good every year.
Foul tipped. 2 on, 2 out. 2 in. And 1 and 2 the count to Aaron Hill. Well, when you talk about them, you talk about Florida State with Mike Martin. A lot of good. You got to watch. You got to watch, especially talking about college. Is that ball into right field? Sierra is there. That's out from the street. Moises. So 2-run homer by Parra. We're halfway home, trailing 3-0. of the 5th inning. 3-8-0 for them. No runs, 1 hit for us. And this young rookie making his major league debut, Chase Anderson. That was a leadoff single by Abreu in the 2nd inning. He tried to stretch it into a double and was thrown out easily at second base. So he has faced the minimum through 4. And here's Abreu. But getting back to the, you got to watch where your son's going to go to college if they're a pitcher. And for that matter, you got to watch where they're going to go in high school if they're a pitcher. Because they will abuse, some guys will abuse. A friend of mine was telling me there was a local, not a local, but a high school kid last week that threw 180-something pitches in one day. It was a doubleheader. I mean, whoever's coaching that kid ought to be fired.
That is a lot for
whoever's coaching that kid and allowed that to happen should be fired.
Well, you're not quite developed yet. You're not close to as strong as you're going to be, and your arm probably isn't prepared to take that kind of workload.
That's abuse. I mean, that is physical abuse. And the thing about it is, as well, is it's just not, you have, it's a necessary evil. You got some great coaches out there who will protect their youngsters, protect their college kids, and then you got some who want to win at any cost. As there is out number 1. And some of those kids even start out in Little League being abused at the expense of coaches living vicariously through players.
Well, that's one of the things that James Andrews, who a whole lot of people go to see for second opinions, sometimes they send him there first to Birmingham, Alabama, and he does a lot of surgeries. What he said was that's where most of the injuries start, is young pitchers trying to throw too hard.
Done. They give him a good feed, so it's quickly 2 out.
Not only trying to throw too hard, but throwing way too many pitches at an early age, because the physiology is the guys just are not developed enough to carry that kind of workload. It might not show at that point. But the point he was making was that's why you have Tommy John surgeries relatively early in a professional career, is not what you did when you signed your professional contract, is what you did in high school and early in college.
Well, we've had 17 Tommy John surgeries this year at the major league level, which is a record number.
And it's early enough yet where we're going to see a few more.
Oh, sure. And you're going to see a ton that we never even hear about in high school. You're going to see a ton we don't hear about in college. And you're even going to see a ton we don't hear about in Pony League.
Well, 2 of probably the first 5 or 6 best pitchers in college, or draftable players, 2 of them are going to have Tommy John surgery, and it takes them out of everybody's draft board. Guys that were going to go very high in the first round, you're going to have to pass them up.
Well, you've heard me say it many times. There's a strike. In my opinion, the worst draft choice you can make is a high school first round draft choice is a high school pitcher.
Statistics bear that out.
They have been abused because they were the studs and they were the ones that were throwing all these pitches, 140, 150 a game. The 1-2 pitch. I'll tell you, this young man, for a major league debut, one of the most impressive we've seen in a long time. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Athletico Physical Therapy. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody. So WhiteSox.com or 866-SOX game. Eric Chavez will lead it off. He's 1 for 2, and he's hit it very hard twice. One pitch and one out. 3-0 D-backs. I was talking to a good friend of mine before the game today. His son just pitched. He had a really good outing. Struck out a lot of guys, and you know what he did it with? Fastball and changeup. No curveball, no slot.
Well placed. You don't need anything else.
Here's Ross, 0 for 2. Fly ball to left and a strikeout.
One of the reasons why the bullpen is up and going is pitch number 101 on the way.
Watch out. Stay in there. Well, under the sequence of events that we acquired in Westy, we could not have asked him to do any more than he's done.
No, especially because he was groomed this year as a reliever. We got him as a reliever. And so to ask a guy to go all that much by 100 pitches is a whole lot. But I thought stepping in, you know, his 3 starts, just stepping in as a reliever this year, he's done a nice job.
There's no question, because when we saw him the first time in 1 inning, we got 7 runs up.
Gave up 7 runs on 7 hits in Texas. And that sealed his fate with the Rangers.
And Rick Hahn was astute enough to pick him up, and I'll tell you what, it's just him and Andre and Scott picking those guys up. The job they've done filling a gap. So here's Pollock. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Pollock looks like one of those players with a pain in the behind. Pesky.
I think he's going to get a whole lot better as he gets more play.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and that's a compliment.
Yep.
Stealing a base, making a good catch, getting a base hit. One and one to count. Outfield straight up. Connor off the line, even with the bag at third. 1 and 2. I'll tell you, that's a bold move. Your club goes out and rips a guy for 7 runs in 1 inning. A few days later, you get it. And bring him right to the big leagues.
It shows you a couple of things.
That's a bold move.
One, it shows you that the state of your pitching staff might not be quite as good with all of the injuries and the like. And also, it shows you the trust you have in your pitching coach to make a guy that you believe could be better and probably was better with Seattle than he was with Texas. And maybe your pitching coach, in this case Don Cooper, can teach him a couple of things.
And also that you weren't going to risk bringing up one of your prize prospects from down below just to fill a gap for a few days.
And that's Coop talking with Bobby Thigpen about just exactly when Jake Petrichka is going to come into this.
They keep working to Jake Meister down there. He's going to have trouble brushing his teeth. He's pitching really well.
He is that. What usually happens with guys that aren't your closer when they're pitching well, they get in a whole lot of work.
Did you hurt your shoulder or was it your elbow?
Both.
Both?
Shoulder. Neither necessitated surgery. It was my shoulder first.
Well, back in those days, they didn't know what labrum or...
I'd never heard the word rotator cuff.
Rotator cuff was.
Nope. And when I wound up going to the orthopod and I described what I was feeling, it was classic symptoms of rotator cuff. I said that it hurt in different places on different days. And he thought I just didn't want to get shot with cortisone, which, by the way, is not any day at the beach, but it happens. They said, well, we'll put 4 cortisone shots across the back and 1 in through the front into the joint. And I said, time out, coach. I said, nope, you can't tell me what's wrong. And so consequently, I can't let you treat me. And, you know, eventually, we found out. Eventually, a guy named Tom Sattler, a doctor of kinesiology at University of Illinois Circle campus, told me, I believe I know what's wrong with you. And he had never seen me before. And I said, how could you possibly do that? He said, put a 1-pound weight in my hand, it dropped to the floor. He says, you got a rotator cuff problem. I said, tell me about it. I've never heard it. And that's the first time I had ever heard that diagnosis. Took 3 months, came back, never had another shoulder problem, and never had any surgery. So I was very fortunate. The fibers were frayed, but there were no tears in it at that point. But that's where I was headed, and that's where a lot of other pitchers were. But you and I were talking about it, and the phrase years ago was, well, he threw his arm out.
Threw his shoulder out.
I mean, it wasn't any more technical than that.
That was it.
Just threw it out. And that's usually what happened, a tear in the rotator cuff.
My playing career started in 1959, ended in 71 when I retired. I never heard the word labrum or rotator cuff in my career. He threw his shoulder out. He threw his elbow out. Threw his arm out. If you'd been a horse, they'd have shot you.
Well, that's true, because you were useless to them at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and 1 to count. Pennington, a double down into the right field corner, and a pop-up.
There is no downside with running with Pollock, because worst case scenario is you lead off with Pennington. And he's got a big lead at first base.
Well, in essence, what Steve and I are talking about right now, what Scott Carroll, Andre Rienzo, and now Hector Noesi have given us, what they're doing is, besides keeping us in ball games, they're saving our bullpen. That's what they're doing. They're saving our bullpen. And each and every inning counts. That's why certain catchers are very, very important, because they can get another inning from a guy, from a starter or a young starter, or whoever it may be out there. They can get another 2 outs. They can get another inning in a third. And you go over the course of a half a season, and that really adds up. So now your bullpen, every out you can save them, you're just doing them a favor.
And you see, with Hector, the first time out, they were really limiting his pitches against Detroit. The second time out, the pitches increased. He got pretty good in this time. And that jump that Pollock just got would have been a terrific jump, because he had 3 steps. The only problem was Hector hadn't thrown the baseball. So if he'd turned around, he'd have gotten them.
That was a Brian Roberts jump, the way he used to get it when he was at Baltimore and stealing bases. Two out, and the 2-2 pitch. There he goes. He gone. No, he's safe. Didn't get it down in time. Now Alexei wants Robin to come out and challenge it.
Well, they're going to probably take a look at it.
Well, Robin's got some time here. Brian Johnson, who will take a look at it and give him his opinion.
The throw is high. If the throw is down a little bit, it would have been a no-brainer. Boy, it's hard to say.
He's safe.
I was going to say, it's hard to say or make any case for overturning it, because there's no conclusive evidence right there.
No, he's safe. If it had been down at all, he would have been gone. But there's a fly ball. And it's a moot point. We go to the bottom of the sixth, 3-0.
Replays, and it all revolves around the young man on the mound, Chase Anderson. Oh, he's been just terrific today. Some high fastballs, some good low changes. See how the Sox line up off balance. That's his family who came up for his major league debut, and he has not disappointed. He's only thrown 55 pitches through 5 innings, and you can hardly do it any better than that. He's also faced the minimum.
Start us off right here, 10. Alexei 0 for 1, a strikeout. Yeah, this has been, if you're just joining us, one of the most impressive debuts we've seen in a long time from a guy who's not a flamethrower, or a guy who doesn't have a magical curveball.
He's got a good straight change. He spots his fastball. It's not a bad fastball. I mean, it's been upwards 92, 93 miles an hour.
Oh, it's decent, plenty decent. But that changeup has set everything up, and he's had a couple of real good curveballs he's spun up there. That's going to stay in the air for him. 1 out. Hang with him for Alexei. Every time our Sox defense has a 3-up and 3-down inning, Mazda will make a donation to White Sox charities to aid the fight against hunger in the Chicagoland area. Brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Mazda dealers. So purchase your tickets, whitesox.com or 866-SOX-GAME. Here's Sierra. Get a little soft comebacker. To Anderson. Tops that one foul. I was talking with Bob Brenly and Steve Berthume, the D-backs TV crew, prior to the game. Boy, they were right on the money with this guy. Pullum said, "You're going to like what you see." Well, they were talking about from a baseball standpoint. I was getting a lot of runs. Outfield straight up, spread out.
Well, things changed for the Diamondbacks when the ace of their staff, Patrick Corbin, was lost for the year to Tommy John surgery last year. Corbin was 14-8. It was not a great Diamondback team. His ERA 3.41. He started 32 games and finished 3 of them through 208 innings. And then when they lost him for the year, then they started to mix and match in that starting rotation. And it has opened the door for Chase Anderson to come up and get what certainly for him is a great performance, but I have to believe it would earn him another couple.
And that's foul.
The Diamondbacks pitching this year is last in the major leagues in ERA, starters ERA, and home runs allowed. So that should show you that they are in desperate need for somebody who can keep the ball in the ballpark and change speeds and get it over.
Two-two pitch. Tops that one foul. Change up. And another out in front on the change up.
Battling at bat. This will be the 11th pitch of the confrontation between Anderson and Sierra. Mostly throwing the ball inside.
Full count. That ball hit deep. Way back. He looks up. He can put it on the board. Yes. One changeup too many. And it's a 3-1 ball game.
Home run number 1. RBI number 4. And after a battling at bat, that where he fouled off 5 different pitches, our forward home run replay was a straight change that stayed up in the zone.
First homer in a Sox uniform. It breaks the aura, the mystique.
And the shutout.
Well, that too.
Here comes Mike Harkey, the pitching coach. He's out there to have a word with his very young and very successful to this point rookie right-hander. Mike's going to spend as much time as he can out there because the bullpen just got going. So as Quinn Wolcott got close to the mound, Harkey broke it up, and he's heading back toward the dugout. Thatcher, the left-hander, and Marshall, the right-hander. We saw Thatcher in this series give up a run on a hit.
There's a breaking ball. And the count 2-0. Don't help him out. Take 2. He has yet to walk anybody. And we need 2 runs to tie. And there's ball 4. Break that aura. Break that mystique.
Well, I'm not too certain just how patient Kirk Gibson is going to be. I would think he'd want Thatcher to face Diaza, but so far, no move to get up. And there's the move.
All right. We do get on the board. A really nice major league debut for Chase Anderson. Goes 5 1/3, giving up the 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He departs, and we'll be back. For free and receive the White Sox Wire email newsletter, exclusive ticket offers and pre-sales, video sneak peeks, breaking news alerts, and more. So visit whitesox.com/blacklist to register today.
Got a new pitcher, and it is Joe Thatcher. He's a side-wheeling left-hander. We saw him in this series. On for the 17th time, a 1-0 record, a 3.09 ERA. More hits than innings pitched, which is never a good sign. Right-handers have really hurt him, but I don't think he's going to face any today.
Going away, ball 1. Alejandro is lined hard to first and struck out.
Thatcher was not drafted after his senior year at Indiana State, so he went to an independent league. Pitched in their all-star game the next year, and the scout liked what he saw. And was signed by the Brewers. So there's a lot of different ways to get in professional baseball, and then you have to fight your way to get to the major leagues. And Thatcher came up the hard way, and here he is.
Those are always nice stories.
It's not an easy thing to do, go to that independent league out of college, especially when you haven't been drafted as a senior.
That's out of play. The love of baseball. Chase Anderson. Nice job by that youngster today. Too much time and it's called. Three runs, 8 hits, no errors for them. A run on just 2 hits, no errors for our guys.
Pretty good numbers. A couple of hits, 1 earned run. His responsibility. Flowers at first. But with his folks and friends in the stands today, that was a very impressive Major League debut.
Two down. Here's Gordon. Gordon twice has gone out to right field.
And with Thatcher's unusual motion making him so tough on the left-handers, it makes him very vulnerable to the right-handers, as most side-wheelers are.
And base hit. Going to put the tying runs aboard.
Gordon doesn't wait around long. He sees one to his liking. That ball was right over the middle of the plate. He took it into left field. And hopefully the short stroke of Connor Gillespie will help him against a tough left-hander.
Connor's fouled out to first, and he is grounded to first. Ball gets away. Now all he needs a little duck snort.
It's going to be a wild pitch. That's the first of the year for Thatcher. The sweeping breaking ball. And not much of a body shift by Montero. And it got by him.
Come on, Connor. Right man, right spot, right time, right now. Balls hit sharply, but they got a man there. So we pick up one on the homer by Moises Sierra. We'll go to the 7th, trailing 3-1.
Kick off a 4-game set at Busch Stadium. It's Travis Wood and Tyler Lyons on the bump for the NL Central battle. Cubs Cardinals tomorrow at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Jake Petrichka comes into the ball game. On for the 15th time. His ERA just a touch over 2. 20 2/3 innings, only 16 hits. He's gotten right-handers out to a tune of 163 batting average against, and that's awfully good. He comes in inheriting a 2-run deficit as the Sox finally broke through in the 6th inning. Noesi threw the ball pretty well today. 6 innings, 3 runs. He gave up 8 hits. Walked 3, 1 of them intentional. And all in all, did a pretty good job.
Well, if you had said before the game, would you take 6 innings, giving up, having a quality start? What would you have said?
Absolutely.
Absolutely is the right word. Noesi has Scott Carroll.
And Rienzo has been the greatest surprise.
As I said, they have given us innings. Yep. And you don't usually get, when you have 3 guys come in like that under these circumstances, you usually don't get that many innings. Plus, Rienzo's 3-0. So here's Parra. He's 2 for 3. He had a gift triple and a run scored in the first, and then a 2-run homer, which is the difference in this ball game. Ate him up with a breaking ball. Slider. So 1 out. Martin Prado 2 for 3 with an RBI. Takes first pitch strike. Softly hit.
Good thing Alexei picked it up and gunned it over there, because Prado was hustling down the line, trying to sniff out his 3rd hit of the day, and Alexei got him by a half step.
No, we haven't seen anybody on the D-back ball club hit a ground ball that didn't bust it down the line. There's one play in baseball that can define your organization. There's one play in baseball that can determine the philosophy of your organization.
And you just saw it.
And you just saw it. That one play. When you hit that ball, I don't care. Now, if you're talking about Abreu right now with a bad ankle, that's a different story. The guys got, or Miguel Cabrera with his bad ankles. But everybody else, you bust it down that line or you don't play. That's it. It's just that simple. When you put a White Sox uniform on, you hit a ground ball, you bust your arse down that line. Goldschmidt 0 for 3 today.
Well, to this point in this series, and it could just be the way he is approaching it for whatever reason, he's tried to pull everything and has had no luck with it. You don't lead the National League in hits if you're not awfully talented. And this is one very strong, exceptional player. The heart and soul of his franchise.
Yeah, he is, and he's just 26. He's just getting it cranked up. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Ooh, that was strike 3.
Everybody wanted it.
The call.
Everybody wanted it except Quinn Walcott.
See where it shows up? Just about half the baseball on the outside corner, but Goldschmidt's aboard.
Now, Quinn hadn't missed many today, but that was one he missed. It's been a well umpired series. We say that we've been saying that quite a bit. You know, and I had a letter the other day I was reading from one of our fans saying that's foul. Saying, why are you talking about the umpires more in a nice way? Did they get on you about it? No, they did not. I mean, if you're gonna get on umpires when they're bad, and you get a good umpired series, you say it. That's because they're happen to be a huge part of the game. And we have seen some good, especially good young umpires this year. Get fouled. Right size, wrong shape.
Scott Downs and Frankie Francisco. Francisco, the newest member of the White Sox. When Michael Clato was designated for assignment, Frankie Francisco was called up. He's got over 70 major league saves during the course of his career. Won't be used as a closer to this point, but he's got that kind of experience. That got him.
So now the walk and hit batsman.
Montero tried to get out of the way. Didn't want to catch this one off the top of his foot, but that's where it got him. And Don Cooper wants to know who is ready to go.
That's a souvenir right side. Very quickly to count nothing in 2. Aaron's hit the ball hard all 3 times today. Meanwhile, he's 0 for 3.
0 for 3 and accounted for 5 outs. 2 double play ground balls.
He gone. To Jake Meister. 7th inning stretch. It is 3-1 Arizona.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Major and our men and women stationed overseas.
My home, sweet home.
numbers primarily from AAA at Reno in 14 games. Spotless, .54 with 19 strikeouts and 16 2/3 with the D-backs 1-0 in 1 1/3 innings. Ender Inciarte takes over in left field.
Yeah, you pitch well in Reno. You have done something. That ball absolutely just will not come down. I think it's worse than Denver. I played in Reno and Denver, and I think Reno's unbelievable.
Light air.
Oh, altitude. So here we go. Here's Brayu. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, you just a routine fly ball in Reno, and just put it on the board. Good rip underneath it, and the count evens at 1. Done on deck. That's in the mezzanine. And the count 1-2. Kevin Towers put some good people in this organization. He's done a good job.
A couple years back, he had to completely reconfigure the bullpen. And his start at the time was David Hernandez, who was out for the year. But he did a great job at reworking that pen.
That's out of play. Start us off. Pitch inside. And once again the 1-2. One out. And a reminder, TL for Charity and join Chicago White Sox Charities for the Field of Green Celebrity Golf Tournament presented by Miller Lite. Now, this year's tournament will be held June 16th at Harborside International. So join the fun, get yourself a foursome, and visit WhiteSoxCharities.org or call 312-674-5391. Here's Adam. Adam 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out 3-1. Once again, a very happy Mother's Day to each and all. If you're traveling home, be sure and drive carefully. A lot of people on the roadways. 1-1 to count.
Marshall showed a pretty good changeup on the last pitch. And another good one there.
Yeah, double him up. Well, and today, the way things are going with arms, with injuries and everything, if you're a pitcher and you don't work on a changeup, you're a fool.
If you don't work on a changeup, you better have overwhelming other stuff.
Exactly right, Stevie. You better have dominating fastball, curveball, and everything else. And the irony of the whole thing, as you've said many times, and I've seen over the years, it's one of the easiest pitches to learn, and it's so much better on your arm.
Now, there's so many different grips of the baseball you can use and get the same effect. A lot of guys like to push it back in their hand. You throw it the same arm velocity with the same slot, it comes out slower. Some guys will use 3 fingers instead of the usual 2.
As he gets him upstairs, that one at 95.
When you've showed a couple of excellent changeups at 83 and 84. And suddenly change eye levels with a high fastball. Could be 95, could be 91. It's still going to be equally as unhittable upstairs.
Well, you got, Tom Seaver, for an example, used a 3-finger change. The one that's easiest to learn, me talking with pitchers over the years now, you said that you tried, but there are guys who just cannot come up with a changeup, and you were one of them.
Yeah, and it turned into a splitter for me, and with a splitter and all those curveballs, too much pressure on my elbow, so I had to give it up.
Yeah. Well, we had a right-hander here, reliever, pass. His name was Gene Nelson. He had a circle change, and he came up with the circle change is a better way to phrase it. And I'm telling you, it was devastating. And it's the easiest one to learn.
A circle change is still used today. Just getting used to keeping the ball and using your last 3 fingers, because that goes against what you're taught. But if you can use it, it looks a lot of times, especially the guys who do it well, it looks like a screwball from a right-hander away from a left-hand hitter or into a right-hand hitter, and there's a good 10-12 miles an hour taken off the fastball.
Yeah, well, Gene was with us from 84 to 86. And, I mean, after he came up with that, he was very effective. And Drysdale, my partner, former partner, God rest his soul, Hall of Famer, he always said that the easiest changeup to learn is the circle change. Nice snap right there by Marshall. And he has himself a nice 1-2 swing, so we'll go to the 8th, trailing by 2.
Game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag #SouthsideFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. And we've got a new pitcher making his Sox debut, Frankie Francisco. Those are the AAA numbers, and if you're a hitter against him, he didn't do much. 1 walk, 12 strikeouts in 8 innings with only 4 hits and nary an earned run, and nobody hit the ball out of the ballpark. So Frankie was pretty good at AAA.
Eric Chavez will lead it off. He's 1 for 3. First 2 times up, he just scalded him. Once into that shift that they have on him now, Beckham made a fine catch on a rocket. Next time up, he just hit one right through it.
Good story out of Cincinnati is Aroldis Chapman, recently activated. In his seasonal debut, he picked up a save by striking out the side. That was a man that had a line drive right above his eye in spring training. And caught a tremendous break in that. Yes, he's got a little metal plate in there. However, he didn't suffer any more damage, which is somewhat unbelievable if you saw that video.
If you saw the video and you just said that killed him, wouldn't have surprised you.
He went down like a shot. It was off the bat of Salvador Perez, who's a big, strong guy and hits the ball awfully hard.
One-two pitch to Eric. Just joining us, they scored a gift run in the first inning. And a 2-run homer by Parra in the 5th. We got a home run. Moises Sierra, his first in the Sox uniform, in the 6th. He gone. He knew it.
This is a perfect pitch, and for Chavez, he just turned and walked away.
So here's Ender Inciarte making his first plate appearance. Ross was 0 for 3 today. First time that I can recall him going 0 for against us in a ball game.
No, I can't remember that he came in hitting .420 against our Sox lifetime. He didn't have too many offers if he had any. But today was one of them.
Gillespie in on the grass, well in on the grass at third. There's a strike.
Brad Ziegler, the submarining right-hander, throwing in the pen.
It'll be Ziegler and Addison Reed if things remain the same. 3-1 to count. And it's full. Detroit beat Minnesota 9-3. Nope. Check, that was yesterday. I got to get this iPad straight as that's foul back.
No, Minnesota came back with 3 runs in the 9th to spoil the day for the Tigers today.
Well, they don't even have that on my iPad. I got the worst iPad going. I'm telling you. I'm going to throw this thing.
I'll tell you something. I paid only $10,000 for this. I'll give it to you for $8,000.
Deal.
Okay, that's good.
Oh boy, just off the plate, close pitch. So that's ball 4. I'm telling you, mine, it's unbelievable. Minnesota came up and beat the Tigers 4-3. Burton. Jabba took the loss. Perkins' 10th save.
Apparently Joe Nathan was not available today because they didn't use him as they rallied from 2 back to get 3 in the 9th.
And there's a shot. Kept it in front of him. So 1 out, 2 on. Pollock Mitch. And he's,
well, the more you see him, the more you like him.
well, he's just a pain in the derriere, so that means he's pretty good. And there's Pennington. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Cleveland leading Tampa Bay 6-2. Top of the 8th down in St. Pete. Kansas City shutting out Seattle 4-0 after 2 out at Safeco. Rays beat the Cubs 5-2 down in Atlanta. Cincinnati over Colorado 4-1 at the Great American Ballpark. Angels beat Toronto 9-3 up in Canada. Boston leading Texas 4-1. That's in the top of the 6th. Down at Arlington. Way out in front. Change up. Houston leading Baltimore 5-2. Top of the 9th at Camden Yards. Chris Davis in that lineup, which we talked about earlier, 2 for 4. And that one at 92 upstairs. At Kansas City 4-0 lead over Seattle. That was a grand slam home run by Alcides Escobar. And too much time. Yes, we will be boarding our charter, heading out on a 10-day, 9-game road trip after the game today. Tomorrow it'll be Johnny Danks against Jesse Chavez out at the Coliseum in Oakland. On Tuesday, Scott Carroll against Drew Pomeranz, who has really been pitching well. He's 2-1 with a 1.45.
1 point. He was #1 prospect for the Cleveland Indians. Traded then Colorado in the Ubaldo Jimenez deal, and then found his way to Oakland with a great park to pitch and some good defenders behind him.
Finale of that series on Wednesday. It'll be Andre Rienzo 3-0 for us against Tommy Malone, the southpaw, who's 1-3 for them. But Malone has a good changeup, and you know our club has problems with that. Left-hander with a good changeup. That's a pretty good pitch to hit right there, and he couldn't do anything with it.
There are the matchups. We almost didn't have Jesse Chavez to face that first game. Last time out, he took a line drive that was literally right at his head. Somehow, some way, got the glove up and made the play. Came away unscathed, but was a miraculous effort.
Yeah, I was watching MLB earlier today, and they had a shot of that. It was unbelievable because you couldn't see him make the catch.
Well,
you thought it hit him in the face.
I was going to say the broadcasters had no idea. You could hear him. They had no idea. And then when they slowed it down and saw him bring the glove up, I mean, the ball was literally right at his face.
Yeah.
He got the glove up just an eyelash in time.
And here's the payoff pitch. See what the runners are going to do. They're going to go. There's a strike them out. And they steal. The double steal. So 2 down.
Long, slow delivery by Frankie Francisco. And even with a great throw, you're not going to get him at third base.
So here comes Coop. You got Prado on deck with the left-hander Parra at the plate. Parra 2 for 3. That gift triple and a run scored in the first, and a 2-run homer. His second home run of the series in the 5th. Gibson out. So Quinn Walcott explains something to him that's satisfactory. And we'll see what they're going to do with the left-hander at the plate and right-hander on deck.
Well, he's hit the ball right on the button twice. And I don't think I'd throw anything close. If you fall behind, you can always put him at first base and take your chances with Prado. I don't believe they'll pinch hit for Martin Prado.
Breaking ball back toward him. Nasty pitch right there.
Just barely shaving off the outside corner.
You got good muscle memory. Double him up out there. All right. He gets him. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We trail it 3-1. We have a pitching change here.
Brad Ziegler comes into the game. We saw him yesterday. He threw an inning, gave up a hit, struck out one in relief of Miley. And he's going to look at the bottom third of the order.
Alexei, Sierra, and Flowers. Alexei has struck out and lined hard to right field. Takes first pitch strike from the sidewinder.
Ziegler, another guy that was signed out of an independent league. That was back in 2004 by the Oakland Ball Club.
Well, he was a sensation there for a while.
Well, the Diamondbacks are hoping he remains a sensation because they gave him $10.5 million for 2 years. Just last December.
Ball hit hard but foul.
One thing you can't do if you're a side wheeler is that's hoping for the right-hand hitter to give some ground and then leaving the ball over the inside part of the plate. That's when these guys get hurt.
Breaking ball.
Tonight after the Blackhawks game, tune in to Comcast Sportsnet for Blackhawks postgame live. Go inside the locker room, hear from Coach Q, and get the breakdown on Game 5. Blackhawks postgame live tonight after the Blackhawks game.
So here's Sierra, 1 for 2, his first homer in a Sox uniform. Got a change up from Anderson, Chase Anderson, and hit it out of here. We didn't even come close to sniffing another run off that left-hander. I mean right-hander.
No, that was probably the only mistake he made, and that was after a prolonged at bat. But the Abreu base hit was on a pretty decent pitch.
Bobble, bobble, bobble. And they still get it. So that'll bring up Tyler Flowers. Tyler has struck out and walked. Takes ball 1. Two and 0 the count.
Well, the Oakland Ball Club is getting their hitting shoes on. 2 3-run homers by Derek Norris against Gio Gonzalez. And early in that one, Oakland leading 7-0. Gio doesn't usually get hit all that hard, but Norris has killed him today.
Good eye right there. 3-1. Aaron Hill right in front of it. So Ziegler, no problems. 1, 2, 3. We're into the 9th. games on 9 hits. We have 1 run on 3 hits. Yesterday, it was Wade Miley, southpaw with a good changeup, who pitched very well against us, and he picked up the victory. Today it was a rookie, Chase Anderson, making his major league debut. Chase with a very good changeup, and he went 5 1/3, giving up just 1 run.
He was pretty impressive in front of his folks. Had family and friends at the ballpark today to see his debut. I would think they would be ecstatic with the performance of their son.
So here's Prado. Martin 2 for 4 with an RBI. Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap out there in left center, not much. Two 2-0 the count. And that's 2-1. Tops that one back. Boston now leading Texas 5-1. Kansas City still leading Seattle. Instead of 4-0, it's 4-3. That's in the bottom of the third at Safeco. Outfield spread out. And that's into right. Can of corn. I think. Yep. So 1 out. And here's Paul Goldschmidt. Paul is 0 for 3 today with a walk. Paul came in hitting .344 in this series. 7 homers, 23 knocked in. Last year he had .302, 36 homers, and drove in 125.
He's sitting at .323 after a tough series to this point.
1-1 to count. Let me check him out right here. Big hack. Yeah, he hit 20 homers, drove an 82 in 2012. At the tender age of 24. 35 homers in 2010 at Visalia.
And the most amazing part about it is he wasn't drafted till the 8th round. So this is a guy that came in second for the MVP balloting last year. There was a few people that thought with his numbers, which offensively dwarfs Andrew McCutchen, he would maybe run him down. Didn't happen that way, but 8th round pick, 2009, pretty good scouting.
Well, you know, you've heard me say it a lot. From my standpoint, I love 8th through the 16th round draft picks, especially pitchers, because they've had to compete. They haven't had the overwhelming stuff, or else they've been gone in the first 7 rounds.
Say, you can tell pitchers that were drafted up high because they have almost without exception, overwhelming stuff.
Same thing for hitters, though, Stoney. I mean, that ball's hit hard, knocked down. He's got time. Nope, makes a bad feed right there. High, so there's an out that should have been.
If you're going to underhand it, you've got to get something on it. Adam didn't take a step back with the right foot, and then the looping throw cost him. It goes E3.
But hitters are the same way. You get a lot of high draft choices that are hitters. Then you get a lot of guys at 8th through the 16th or even down lower. They've had to really compete at the plate. They've had to grind it out. And more and more and more of this game is getting to be TWTW. The will to win. Attitude. Rick Renteria and I were talking about that the other day. It's attitude. And there's no question about it. What's caused a lot of it has been money. Big money. You don't know how big money is going to affect some guys.
Until they get that first big contract, you couldn't know how it's going to affect them.
No.
But you got to be very careful in who you give it to.
Especially pitchers.
But that's why the scouting of your own system is so vitally important. I mean, long-term deals for pitchers, that's always a delicate situation. That would have nothing to do with the will to get out there and compete. It's just that if they hurt their arm, that's pretty much it.
Well, it's a lot easier if you've got $1 million or $2 million a month coming in. It's a lot easier to go on a deal.
Yeah. Guaranteed coming in.
Yeah. That's fouled back by Montero. I'm just really against signing pitchers to real long-term contracts. Always have been and always will be. And I think statistics will bear it out. One out, 2-2 the count. Top of the ninth inning, they lead it 3-1. There he goes. And that's out of play. Chu just hit it right on the head. We've talked about it before. It's something that you'll find out. That's high and deep to right field. And it's a 5-1 ball game. So the arrow opens it up. Montero makes it pay.
5th home run. He's driven in 22. And 2 hits today and a perfect day with the walk and intentional walk being hit and a single, and our forward home run replay. This was a changeup. And if you don't see a guy's hands coming forward and you've thrown a changeup, most likely you've got some problems. And that one went into the bullpen.
Aaron Hill takes first pitch strike. Aaron 0 for 4 today, 0 for 11 in the series. But you hit it on the head a while ago. That, as I said, we've discussed it many times. You'll find out most of the teams that are year after year after year are the consistency of being a competitor, a contending club, is they know their systems better than everybody else.
Well, that's where teams wind up in trouble, because they scout other team systems so very well they know who they want in a trade. But if you got duplicates, if you have a lot of talent in your system, you got to know which guys, even though they might not be quite as good as another player, you have to know where the ceiling is going to be for that guy. And there's been a lot of clubs that have done a great job of sending away players who aren't going to make it and not going to make it big, and keeping the guys that are going to get very good.
Well, we signed a guy this year just to scout our organization. Bruce Benedict.
That's a terrific thing to do.
It's a beautiful thing to do. There's no, I mean, it's amazing how many teams don't really, if you want to put it right on the tip, don't know what they have. And they evaluate as theirs out number 2, as they evaluate their players. Most teams have a tendency to evaluate their players way too high. Way too high.
Well, consequently, then you ask a bundle for him. You don't make as many trades as you would like, and you're not going to make the good trades, because the opposing GM is going to look at how you value your guy and say he's just not worth that. Pretty easy.
As here comes Robin, and he's going to go get the left-hander, Scott Downs. Yep. When you evaluate your players and you believe everybody you got is going to be a real solid prospect rather than a suspect, you got a problem. So Francisco departs, Scott Downs comes on, and we'll be back.
They'll be facing Eric Chavez. He's 0-2, the ERA 5.14. It's been coming down recently. Left-handers hitting only 174, and that's why he is facing Chavez.
A 5-1 lead here in the top of the 9th. They scored 1 in the first. It was a gift. And a 2-run homer in the 5th, a 2-run homer here in the 9th. So after the game, they'll board their charter and go home. We'll board our charter and go to Oakland. We'll go to Oakland for 3, Houston for 3, and Kansas City for 3. Two and one. And our roving reporter, Jimmy Olsen, says that Aroldis Chapman threw 21 pitches and hit 100 miles an hour 15 times.
Yeah, but when he's right, he would have only used 14 pitches, so he's a little rusty.
Yeah, sure he is.
In striking out the side. But what a weapon at the end of the ball game that Cincinnati has in Chapman.
15 times with 21 pitches. This guy just ate him up right there, but the horse is out of the gate as they have a 2-run homer.
Time brought to you by Miller Lite, and it started early in this one. Gerardo Parra lifted a fly ball to center field. Diaz breaks back, comes in, trips, stumbles, dives, and misses it. That was an ominous way to start, with Martin Prado then driving him in. And unfortunately, Parra is not done. This was a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. And at the time, it made it a 3-0 game. So Oliver Perez comes into the game on for the 17th time. 4.50 ERA. Control hasn't been great, but 16 strikeouts in 14 innings. And at times in his career, Perez has been the -- 1 starter on a couple of teams.
At times he's been very hard to hit.
If he gets it over the plate, he is exceptionally hard to hit.
So here is Liuri hitting for Diaz, who was 0 for 3 today. Outfield straight up, spread out, bit of a gap in left center. Start us off here. Let's give them a finish. What has been a beautiful Mother's Day afternoon here at the ballpark. Everything except the score. One and two the count.
He was purchased out of the Mexican League as a 16-year-old. Padres paid $40,000 for him. And became a big-time Major League pitcher, so it was a pretty good investment.
Fastball up and away, 1 out. Here's Beckham. Gordon 1 for 3. That fastball outside. Two 2-0 the count. Let's get something going here. There's a strike. And that's good enough. Broken bat single.
Second hit of the day for Gordon. Catches it off the end of the bat.
And here goes Paulie. Fans love to see this. Curveball, sweeper. Big sweeper. Tough to stay with that one, even if it comes across the inside corner.
Well, it's late breaking, and all of a sudden you see it, and it looks like it's coming from second base and never stops breaking.
So that millisecond, that nanosecond. Out in front of that one. You give up on it, and it's too late if you wanted to recover.
You remember Randy Johnson, and he would throw what he called Mr. Snappy, and that was the one that looked like it was 10 feet outside, and next thing you know, it comes in over the strike zone. You have no chance to hit it.
Paulie hitting a 256, and that's a fair ball. And this ball game is over, so the rubber match goes to the D-backs, and not a bad effort at all. A quality start for the Westie. We just couldn't score any runs.
Now, Hector threw the ball very well in his third start, but when the offense isn't clicking, and when you've got a young man on the mound making his major league debut, Anderson just looked outstanding here today, giving up just 1 run on 2 hits. Fanning 6, so the day belonged to him and the Diamondbacks.
And he is our GMC player of the game, 26-year-old right-hander Chase Anderson, our GMC player of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, for the mayor Mean Joe Groove, also for the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., and for Joe Paulsback, Doug Fuller, Bob Albrecht, Dennis Wood. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Jen and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet.